Hello, everybody, and welcome to Standing Legs. We're going to do a 20 to 25-minute standing leg workout. There will be some balance involved, so if you do have a chair or a couch or counter or anything that you can just put your hand on for a little bit of balance, that's awesome. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with our feet parallel with each other. And first, you're just going to lift and spread the toes a couple times just to wake up the bottoms of the feet. So lift, spread those toes, place them down. Lift, spread those toes, place them down. Keep going. As you're lifting the toes, though, try to keep the ball of the toes on the ground. So we're really just lifting up the little piggies. And just feel how much activation that creates in your feet as well as your calves. All right, last time, lift and spread them, and then go ahead and place those toes back down. We're gonna do a round of just lifting up and going down, lifting the heels up, bringing the heels down. So we're gonna be putting our weight into the front of our feet. We're gonna try to keep a nice, tall, straight line with our body as we go up, and then control it as you come down. Plant those feet into the floor, ready, up, and plant it down. Keep even weight through the balls of your feet. In other words, you don't want to put more pressure on that little mound underneath the pinky toe or vice versa. Nice and balanced. And now make sure that you're not just coming down and going back up, but you're really controlling it down, almost resisting it in a way. And those calves are going to start warming up soon. As you're going up, be mindful of going up just as far as you can go. Sometimes if I'm not thinking about it very much, my mind is elsewhere, I start noticing that I'm just cutting it short a little bit. So up as high as you can go and down as low as you can go. All right, we're gonna stay up there nice and high and then bend the knees, trying to keep your heels in place, and then straighten nice and tall and bend the knees and straighten nice and tall. Still staying even in the balls of the feet. This one gets a little tricky with the balance. And two more. All the way up, lengthen through the head, and then lower those heels down into the floor. All right, prance out those feet. If you need to, you can even curl your toes under and get a little stretch on the top of your foot. Now we're gonna take our feet wide. Heels are very close together, but they don't need to be touching. And we're gonna do almost the same thing, going up with the heels, down with the heels. Now these ones are gonna really engage through the inner thighs a little bit more. So as you're going up, think about a zipper. Your inner thighs are getting zippered up, and then they're unzipping as you come down. And continue to go up nice and tall, and come down in a straight line. You're also going to feel your glutes engaging a little bit in order to hold this externally rotated position. And now let's stay up, heels nice and high. Bend the knees, press yourself back up. Zipper those inner thighs. Bend the knees, zipper them back up. Three more. All the way up, and land those heels all the way down to the floor, and prance them out. The feet really get a lot of work here. And typically the feet aren't very used to that. So If at any point you need to stop and give your feet a little bit of a rest, feel free to, and then join back in. All right, our feet are nice and wide now. Up on the heels, down with the heels. Remember, try to get to your very highest point. Don't cut it short. If you want to challenge yourself, you can take your hands off your chair. You can bring your arms off to the side or even up towards the ceiling. And now stay up there. Bend down, squatting down, and lifting up nice and tall, straight legs. And coming down and pressing through those feet. Lift high. Couple more. All right, last one. You can do it. All the way up, and then lower those heels down to the ground. All right, stretch out those feet again. And then we're gonna change our orientation with our chair. We're gonna stand with a chair on one side of us. Whew, that is a high block. All right. So either side is fine, wherever you're at. So we have one leg on the block or on your, I'll just call it a block. We have one leg on the block and one leg off. Try to keep your hips square with each other as best you can. And then point your toes, kick your leg forward, flex your foot, press it back. And as you're pressing back, I want you to focus on the back of the leg instead of the heel. So press that back of the leg, back, 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 back. Point forward. Now, don't be surprised when your stable leg starts to talk to you. That leg is doing a lot of work. Press that upper back of your thigh back as far as you can without moving your body forward. So your body's staying nice and tall. And we have circles. So circle that leg out to the side and around. And you want to make the biggest circle you can with that leg, keeping your body upright the whole time. Press back with those hamstrings. And reverse it. And then rest. Give both legs a rest. You can bend your knees, just march it out, prance it out. And then back up with that same leg. All right, hips are gonna stay square as best you can. And now your floating leg will kick out to the side and then squeeze it back in. Out to the side, squeeze. Lead with your upper leg. Two more. Good, now turn your floating leg into an external rotation. So your toes are pointing out, your heels are pointing in. And we're gonna kick this leg forward, but we're initiating from way up high in the inner thigh. Woo! Lost my balance there. Keep going. All right, last one. Keep it there. Circles. And reverse it. All right, bring that leg back so your legs are in line with each other. And then we're gonna keep that externally rotated position. And we're gonna kick out. So we're sort of at an angle. We're not exactly out to our side. We're not forward in front of us, somewhere in between. Squeeze it in. Two more. Good job. Come on down off your block and prance it out, especially giving that stabilizing leg a little bit of a rest. Let's go to the other side. So you can either turn around or you can flip your chair over depending on what you have at your house. I'm going to try to do it in the same order. All right. So standing up nice and tall, try to square your hips. That's why we're standing on something. If we were on the floor doing all these, it would be really hard to not have the working hip up. So that's what the standing block is for. All right. Point forward, flex, kick it back with the upper back of your leg, your hamstrings. Point forward, flex, bring it back. Remember, as your leg is swinging forward and back, your upper body is staying completely upright. One more time forward, one more time back. Press it back as far as you can, still keeping yourself upright, and start your circles. And reverse it. And then bring that leg to your side so your legs are parallel. And then we're taking this floating leg and we're going to open it out to the side. Initiate with your upper outer thigh. And then squeeze it in. Out and squeeze it in. Two more. All right, floating leg is going to open out an external rotation. And it's going to kick forward and bring it back. Remember, we're kicking forward with our upper inner thigh. Now keep it forward, and we have circles. Initiate those circles with your inner thigh. Your foot just follows along. And reverse. And then keeping that external rotation with that leg, you're going to bring it back sort of parallel with your other leg, and we're kicking out at that angle. And then we're going to squeeze it back in. Last one. Good, go ahead and come on down off your block. Prance it out. And now we're gonna do a standing number 4 stretch. So having your chair by your side if you need help with the balance, we're gonna take one ankle and cross it over the other knee. And then we're gonna sit back as if we were going to sit in a chair. And just sink into those hips. Let this crossed leg open up. And you'll feel this stretch in the back of your hip. Deep down underneath those glute muscles. Okay, other side. Cross your ankle over your knee and then sink it down. I have a major difference between my sides. That's so interesting. I don't notice it as much when I'm doing the stretch laying down or sitting. All right, and then come on up, sit down. Keep your chair nearby for a little bit of balance, but I want you to try to challenge your balance on this one. So only use it if you really need to. We're gonna pick our left knee up, and then we're gonna bring our right elbow towards it. They don't have to be touching, but they're coming towards each other. And then reach your right arm up high towards the ceiling as you reach that left leg down long towards the floor. Pull them together, reach them apart. Lots of balance for your right leg. Reach, reach, reach. One more on this side. Woo! And then we're gonna do the other side. All right, left leg is your stabilizer. Right leg's gonna come up in front of you. Left elbow and knee are attracted to each other. And then they're gonna, whoa, my balance is terrible on this side today. Reach away. And then bring your knee towards your elbow. And this is a tip, if you're on a squishy mat, it's gonna be a lot harder to balance versus if you're on a hard floor. One more. Good job. All right, we're gonna stretch them out. So get a place where you can have a nice wide stance. Feet are pretty parallel. If they're turned out a little bit, that's totally fine. And then I'm gonna have you hinge forward at the hips. If you can bring your fingertips to the floor, great. If you still have your book or block nearby, you can bring that underneath you. If you can't touch anything, that's fine too. Bring your hands to your hips. And then everybody, without locking those knees, I want you to bend them first and then straighten them as you press your butt back behind you, but no locking of the knees. And hold that for another breath or two. And then if your hands are on the floor or on the block, we're gonna walk our hands over to the left foot. If your hands are on the hips, you're gonna just shift your torso over towards the left foot. And again, bend the knees. And then as you press your feet into the floor, straighten those legs and push your butt back towards the wall behind you, just to really get a dynamic stretch there. And then walk your hands over to the right, or move your torso over towards the right, bend your knees, press into your feet, press your butt back, straighten those legs. And then come back to center, bend your knees. This time you're gonna press into your feet and lift yourself on up to standing. Thank you so much for coming today. That was fun. Stick around if you wanna do a squishy ball mat class next. And if not, I'll see you next time.